I am Malik Jalal, I go by Malik. I'm the curator of this exhibition, Surplus in Pantomime, the title of which is referencing, the tradition of the vaudeville and the mime and Black performance, minstrel traditions. So the notion of pantomime was really interesting to me, like the performance without voice, without sound. It seems like a very inherently limited and confined sort of format. There isn't a lot of crossover, you would say, in the notion of a mime and other forms of performance art, However, I think that there's a lot of excess expression that is within that particular form, that particular mode, and I think even more so within the Black context, within the African American context. I think that there's a very direct metaphor between the silence, and the oppressive, social, cultural confines that we as African Americans still, and have, always created within, and then also the silence within a painting, like and within an exhibition in general, that like these things are taken very much for their aesthetic value, and whereas, and obviously not purely so, but I think that a lot of the paintings, a lot of the works in the show could be, and should be to some degree, viewed very purely as abstract works. Even if people don't read the text, or not even read the title, the works are just beautiful, and they work well together. But the truth is that all of these artists work with an intention and a perspective of the world that is not absent in their work, and some more so than others, like Jay and Asani are very much pure painters, and their work is addressing painting. That work that they're doing is not, purely conceptual or purely about the notion of abstraction itself. It's much more rich and full, and whereas like some of the other work, like Zeke's work or Rosa's work, is very directly using gesture and abstraction to speak about political and historical issues and whatnot. As I was working or thinking about the show and conceptualizing the direction sort of revealed itself in a way. The notion of gesture as a radical act seemed to be a thread. There's violence in gesture. There's love and sound. I think gesture belongs to the body. And so I was very interested in that. I personally was thinking about the notion of gesture and of performance, and as particularly of painting being sort of a recording of performance, and how mark making, whether it be, on a painting or sculpturally, is really, a recording of a gesture. So yeah, I think that these artists, that particular discussion was most potent amongst these 5 artists, This is my first big curator project. I've done some local artist-run DIY spaces, but no, this is my first legitimate curator project. It's very much my debut curator project. Yeah, it's been quite the experience. I went into it like oh, I'm gonna do it as an artist, and I definitely did, but I had to teach myself a certain amount of communication and administrative skills that I previously didn't have. But at the same time, there was like, and there still is, like you can see it in the exhibition, like this level of trust that I think was shared amongst peers and friends that both allowed me to do the exhibition the way that I operate, and the way that some of these artists operate.